Warning. It is the opinion of the 4th Street Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language.
What happened? You're driving down the road and you thought, hey, today's a good day to be a bad. So what happened?
I don't know, like some guy was just driving all over the road. He was just high on meth or something, or he was on heroin actually. Woo. And he so people were calling in saying like, this dude's like, just he's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
So gave a description of the car, and then I saw him coming through the Skipback Village, and I tried to stop him. He wouldn't stop. He was going like really slow and then fast, and then so I like pull in front of him and try to just like stop him from driving around. And he like looked at me and gave me the middle finger and then drove around. And so that's when I was like, okay, well then I'll just hit him. And so that's what.
Yeah. He's like, no, thank you. I'd rather not.
I was like, hey, what's this jerk doing? Why did he pull out in front of me? What a jerk! Yeah. Hey, bub. Yeah, he didn't even notice. And people doing heroin and skipback. What's the world coming to? Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by JDubs, Justin Richardson, the amazing Jamie Iglesias, and our guest today is the incredible, the outstanding, the state trooper himself, Chris Poulsen. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can also on Instagram at Work Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. JDubs, how we doing? Bay.
I'm doing good. I'm excited.
You are excited. Yes, I think this is the first time that you've talked to a policeman that wasn't in an illegal setting.
I was related to a police officer, and other than that, yeah. But I have talked to a lot of police officers.
Sure. We'll get into that. Very nice. Don't incriminate yourself even more than you already do on this show. James, man in uniform. Know it's a fan of the show, listener of the show. How you doing?
I'm good. I pulled a mat today. I woke up at 4 a.m., so I'm kind of tired.
Whoa. That's a thing now? Pulling a mat, waking up at 4 a.m.?
Not a regular thing. I went to, you know where Rice's is? Rice's flea market?
Of course.
I went.
Yeah.
I went there and I sold the stuff that I make with my my cutting machine.
Nice. You did when you made me merch that one time, which was incredible, and I wear it all the time and I love it. So there you go. You're a true artist. Well, speaking of being white trash and a true artist, this is the Working Perspectives podcast. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's all objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. Would you share it? Would you share it? Would you share it? Working Perspectives.
All right. On the show today, I have one of my Henzo Gracie brothers back on. His name is Chris Poulsen. He's a Pennsylvania state trooper. Are you a brown belt, Chris?
Yeah, I am.
Brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He can throw hands. He can do the damn thing. He's a dad. He's a husband. He's from New Jersey. Weird. But I'm super excited to get him on the show. I'll tell you, he's one of the guys. I feel like we kicked it around early doors when we did the show. but I mean, now that I've got him on here, I'm super excited. We're gonna get into it. Justin is really, really excited. But Chris, thank you for coming on. Before we get started, I would like to ask, what movie do you think is better, The Godfather Part 1 or The Godfather Part 2?
Oh, the first one.
No.
Really? You're not a fan, huh?
No, don't get it twisted. I love the first one, but the second one is better.
False.
Okay.
No, it's one of those rare occasions where the sequel is better than the original.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, agree to disagree.
I haven't seen it for a while, so maybe you're right.
I mean,
No,
I
don't
am
fall.
right, but
He's not.
no. Okay. And then what about Cheetos? Crunchy or puffed?
Oh, neither. I do not like any sort of like flavor, like Cheetos, Doritos, anything like that. I do not eat it, and I don't.
Artificial cheese, man.
Not even just cheese, just like chips. Like I don't have like sour cream and chive chips or any, just like no flavored chips or anything.
Do
You
do
just go with the plain.
I do eat plain ones, yeah, but I don't like the flavored stuff. I don't know why.
No shit. Just
No
you don't like the artificial flavoring, I think.
Yeah, Cheetos and stuff is really gross, I think. But
Well, when you do break it down, what are they even made of? Do
I
we
don't-
know?
my daughter is starting to like them because my father-in-law likes the like cheese balls. So whenever she goes to those puff ones, so whenever she visits grandma and grandpa, she'll have some. And then she asked me to get them at the store. I'm like, no.
No, not in this house. You kidding me? Nice. All right, good deal. Yeah, I'm I'm a crunchy guy, but now that you say it, it is concerning. We have no idea what these things are made of. None.
No, can't be good.
No, God, no. No. But they are delicious, so you're missing out. But what about pancakes or waffles, Chris?
I prefer waffles.
Sure you do. Sure you do. Now you're back on the team. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it. Of course, waffles, you can do so much with it. They're delicious. It's fantastic. I did go to a place in New York one time that had chicken and pancakes,
Huh.
and it was good, but it's it's not chicken and waffles, so go fuck yourself. You
I've
know what I
never
mean?
heard of chicken and pancake.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
interesting.
No, that's not a thing. It's duck and pancakes. Everyone knows that.
Really?
Duck a little orange and some flapjacks. It's a wonderful thing.
You mean duck l'orange? Is that what you meant to say?
Yeah, that's what I slaughtered out of my mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had the old duck and flapjacks, but I'm sure it's delicious. But Chris, what about Bill Murray or Chevy Chase?
Both are great, but I got to go with Bill Murray.
Yeah, damn right you do, because you're an American. Nobody says Chevy Chase.
Oh, really?
Nobody.
Everyone's a coward.
Yeah, oh, they're a coward. Okay, right. And then, what about Beatles or the Stones?
I would have to go with the Rolling Stones.
Ooh, look, I'll tell you, we've been getting
Probably.
some Beatles on that.
Yeah, I'm sure most people say the Beatles, but
Well, no, I would say most. Would you guys say Stones is the most, right? I would say-
Probably.
Yeah,
Justin,
it definitely has
Stones?
been more Stone than Beatle.
But
Oh.
we've had Beatles lately, though. I would say, right?
It's having a slight uptick.
Yeah. It's no Puffasance, but it is what
No.
it is. Yeah. And then, okay, what about, this is an oldie we haven't asked in a long time, but a goodie. When it comes to theme parks, are you a water park or an amusement park guy?
oh, definitely water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Even
Well,
with the Band-Aids and the chlamydia and all of that?
Well, it's more that like on the theme park side, like I have like pretty bad motion sickness, so there's limited stuff I can go to. I grew up like having a season pass. I grew up very close to Six Flags Great Adventure, so we always had a summer, season pass or whatever, pretty much every summer growing up.
Yeah.
And there was like maybe like 5 or 6 rides that I would go on aside from the water ones, like all summer.
Yeah, dude, that's funny. I worked with a guy. His name's Jeremy Bullock, super good dude. But he lived in like the same area, and he was like, that was the gimmick. Every summer, like all the kids, and he said it was like a ton of people would just get the summer pass, and their parents would just drop them off there for the day, and then they would like screw around at the theme park, and then get picked up. Right?
Oh yeah. And pass was, I don't know how much it was, but it was like basically if you went twice or something throughout the whole summer, it basically paid for itself. So pretty much anybody locally would get the season pass.
Wow. I'm sure they had deals and stuff too, but nice. That's fun. Okay. And then this is the big question, and this is going to decide the person you are for the rest of your life. When it comes to eating wings, are you drums or are you flats?
What do you mean flats?
Like
Sorry.
the drum is the drum, and then the flat's the one with
Oh.
the two bones in it.
I actually like the flats.
God.
Yeah,
I know it's
sophisticated.
easier to eat the drum, but I just like the flats one. I feel they taste better.
Wow.
Correct.
Wow. You know, Chris, I used to like you, pal. And we used to be friends.
Seems like you're pretty upset with all my answers to these questions.
I'm not happy with him. I'll tell you that. So, all right. So, like we said, Chris here, he is a Pennsylvania state trooper, which means that if you break the law, he's coming for you. All right. But other than that, you know, he's super good dude, Hensler Gracie brown belt. But I want to get a little backstory on him. So, Chris, like you mentioned before, you grew up in New Jersey, right?
Yep.
What part of New Jersey?
Monmouth County, like the Jersey Shore area.
Oh, nice, dude. Is that by LBI?
It's not the Jersey
No.
Shore area for people from Jersey.
Oh, I see.
People
All right.
in Philly always equate that with like Wildwood, or when I say think like Wildwood or something, but it's north of there.
Oh, okay.
Like near Asbury Park, maybe.
Oh,
Would be
no shit.
around that area. Yeah,
Yeah, we just had a guy on the show, Steve Walters from Asbury Park. Lovely area.
it is.
Yeah, nice, dude. So, no, dude, I'll tell you, I mean, I was wondering this. So, my mom is full-time down the shore now, and we visit her out of season. Like, I'll tell you, down the shore out of season, it's a different world down there, pal. You know what I mean? Like, stuff gets weird down there out of season.
Well, the really beachy towns, yeah, it becomes like a ghost town basically during the winter, you know, because you got all the people, seasonal people that leave.
Yeah. Was it like that in where you were at or no?
No, I mean, because I didn't live like right on the water. I just said like Asbury as a, like that's the
Like a reference.
place you would reckon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And then what kind of sports and activities were you doing coming up as a kid?
High school, I was really into like playing basketball, and then got into karate and taekwondo and stuff like that.
Nice. There you go. That stuff, I'll tell you, it's good. That stuff, as much as like people, you know, harp on like karate and whatever taekwondo, like they have that, you know, whatever reputation. It is good for a lot of things as far as like discipline and commitment and like all of that stuff. It does build that, and that stuff is ultra important. You know what I mean?
I would totally agree with that. Yeah, I mean, it's not, I think like it's good for definitely young kids to get involved in it, to teach all those things, you know.
Mhm.
I don't think it's, if you're going to rely solely on that to defend yourself and be able to fight, then you're going to be, that's not going to be a good situation. But
Yeah.
I do think like I found, you know, some techniques that you pull from that stuff would be applicable in like what we do and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's good for all that other stuff like discipline and all that, and it's physical fitness. And then I mean it has its place, you know, its usefulness, but I wouldn't think that, you know, it's the end all be all. That's all.
Yeah. I'm with you. Plus, dude, I mean, you've brought some of that though with you to jujitsu, because I see you like you'll always bow before you go on the mat and stuff, right? Like you brought that from karate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, that shit, you know, it's not a bad habit to have. You gotta respect the place you train. That's the truth.
Yep.
Nice. So then, okay, so you're in high school, you're, you know, playing some ball, doing some basketball, things like that. You would eventually graduate from there, and then you would go to Monmouth. Is that right?
Well, first I went to Drexel in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I went there for like a year and a half, and I just didn't really take to living in the city.
Yeah, it's tough.
I went.
What was your major?
Business administration at that point.
Nice. And you were living, I mean, dude, to be honest, you know, but I don't know if you ever met Big Pete, but he's one of my best friends. And he had a house at like 35th and Spring Garden, and he was 1 block away from Haverford Ave, which is like a dump. You know what I mean? Like, so there, you know, if you're on campus, you're cool, kind of. But when you get off campus at Drexel, there's some dicey areas. You know what I mean? Like it ain't great. So is that kind of what you were thinking? Like, oh gosh, it's got kind of.
I mean, I never really gave it a chance, quite honestly. My freshman year was spent on campus at the dorms. My sophomore year, I got an apartment with like all the, it was a shitty living situation. I like moved into an apartment with like 4 or 5 girls and me, where some people would be like, that's an awesome situation, but it wasn't the best. And that was just not good. And then my grades weren't doing so good either. So I decided to pack up and come home.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I have a sister and a mom, and then there's kind of like always just people living at my house. And I live with 2 girls now, my wife and my daughter. And I'll tell you, women, well, not my wife, but my sister, and she was disgusting. So I can imagine living with 5 girls. It's disgusting. Jamie,
A
weigh
lot
in
of
on this?
hair. A lot
Oh,
of
the
hair.
hair. Oh, the hair.
Yeah. I mean, aside from that, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Women, dude, people think, I mean, I think Pete Davidson had a gimmick, like a bit on it, where people think guys are the disgusting ones. It's girls' bathrooms are atrocious. They're absolutely atrocious. It's
My
like
dad won't even go in mine because there's just hair everywhere.
oh, it's everywhere. Yeah. I'm with
Screaming infidelity.
you. Yeah, you bastard, Justin. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man. It gets it gets pretty dicey. So you were living with what, 4 girls or 5 girls?
I forget. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's
It's
4 or
all
5.
blur.
It was
Yeah.
weird. It was just a weird situation. Like I was supposed to like live with this one dude. Like we were going to get an apartment. We decided that freshman year, and then it turns out that he like didn't come back to school. So I was hard up, and then like this girl I was friends with said that her friends were looking for another roommate. So I got involved with that, and it was just like the worst.
Oh,
I mean,
dude.
they all like had like boyfriends that were, or not all of them, but some of them had boyfriends that like were older and like didn't go to college, but they would like come visit on the weekends, and they're like thinking, like, you know, I'm trying to like, you know,
Yeah.
move in on their girlfriend or something, which was totally not happening. But it was
Yeah.
for awkward situation.
Oh, dude, I could totally see that. Absolutely. Where they're like, well, yeah, everyone think, oh, this guy must be banging all the girls that live here, when that's, not the case at all. Damn, that does suck. Plus, too, like, and then you're also like your house security out of nowhere. Like that's just the other thing. They're like, oh, he's the guy here. Okay, well, I guess if something ever
Spider
happened,
duty.
yeah.
You have to get all the tall things, open all the jars.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, they tell you not to shit where you eat. You definitely don't shit where you sleep. Like if you end up somehow banging 2 of the roommates, you now have to sleep with one eye open. It's only a matter of time till they figure it out and start stabbing each other in the night.
And you.
These girls were not. I had no interest in that.
Yeah. They were on the
Field
rugby
hockey
team.
goalies.
Yeah. They all catch softballs or catchers for the softball team. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at with this. Nice. Okay. So then, you left Drexel, and then you went to Monmouth. Is that right?
Well, I left mid-year, so I went a semester at community college, and then I went to Monmouth. Yeah.
Nice. What, in community college in Jersey?
Yeah, Brookdale, it's called. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And then you were living back home at this time?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the gimmick, man. Everyone goes away for a little bit, like after high school, and then eventually, yeah, something happens where you're like, all right, I fucked up. I gotta live back home for a little bit, and then you move out again. That happened to me.
That was it.
Yeah. So then, so you go to Monmouth, and then did you have a better experience there? Like you were more focused on like, all right, I just want to graduate and do whatever, right?
Way focused, just because like, well, going to Monmouth, it was my area where I, closer to home. So I was more familiar, and it's not like a city, it's right near the beach.
Yeah.
And like, I actually met a really good friend at Drexel, and his twin brother was in Monmouth. So
nice.
Like plugged into like a whole like social circle like immediately upon going to school there, and so I'm still friends with some of those guys now.
Nice.
So it was a way better experience. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Miles Austin, Monmouth, correct?
You're right.
Knew it. I'm a genius, Justin. Did you hear that? I'm a genius.
Miles Austin. I have pages of questions for this police officer when I see those questions.
Christ almighty. Let's keep it moving then. So you did the thing in Monmouth. What prompted you to move to Pennsylvania?
Well, I really didn't move to the state police moved me to Pennsylvania officially, but I mean, when I was going through the application process, you have to have a Pennsylvania address, and my girlfriend at the time was from Pennsylvania, so used her address. She was from like the Pittsburgh area.
Oh boy, so she was way up. But so wait, so then how did you get hooked up to get into the state police? How did that process go?
Well, I feel like we're skipping like this whole like
Do it. Hit me.
life that like I didn't really. You probably don't even know.
No.
But like so I didn't go to the state police like right out of college or anything like that. It was a long time before that. So like out of like the reason like when I went to Drexel and Monmouth and everything, I was always involved in like playing music. So I would play in bands and stuff.
Nice.
And so when I was in Monmouth, like my band got a record deal. So like we put out an album and we went out on tour, and then like that sort of became more like a huge part of my life. So like I did that for like, you know,
what was the name of the band? Is this My Chemical Romance? Were you in My Chemical Romance?
no, I wouldn't be working at the state police if I was in like,
Yeah.
no, it was a band that, you know, it had marginal success. It was called Tokyo Rose. And this was something that we put out like record on like,
Dude, I know Tokyo Rose.
no,
Yeah.
you don't.
I've heard of it. Because
Alright.
I used to, I remember some, I know, I've heard of Tokyo Rose. I know
What
that.
kind of music?
It's
Emo,
like,
duh.
yeah. All right. Well, Matt, maybe,
Nice.
yeah.
No, I think I've definitely heard of. Holy! All right, Chris, your hair. Oh my God, Chris. All right, hold on. I gotta share my screen, dude. I definitely have heard of Tokyo Rose somewhere. What instrument did you play?
The bass guitar.
Nice. Oh, I think you told me that before, dude. It's crazy. How long have you been coming to the gym? 10 years? 11 years?
10 years. Yeah.
10 years. So I've known you for 10 years, and I don't think I knew that you were in a band.
Yeah. I don't really bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. Look at this guy right here, huh? Is this
Yeah. Some of them are me.
man?
Nice. Very emo.
Oh, dude, that was like your yeah. Are you kidding me? Nice, man. Oh, look at this one. Look at this guy right here, huh? So wait, there was sometimes there's 3 members, sometimes there's 4.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like it was, we always had different members every photo. People
Yeah.
couldn't stand being in the band, so they just quit, I guess. I don't know.
Man, so okay, so all right. So you're playing bass for Tokyo Rose. Lord, this is kind of badass. So you're playing bass, you guys got a record deal, which is really cool, right? And then what's the deal there? So you got the record deal, everything's going sweet, or you know, you're trying to make it work, but that's like exciting, right? Like having
Yeah,
marginal success. And what were you in your mid-20s, something like that at this time?
early 20s. It happened while we were in school, and then we graduated. And well, actually, our record came out while we were still in school. So we actually didn't. A lot of times, bands will like the guys will like quit school and go out on the road. We didn't do that because we were so close to graduating. So we finished, graduated, then we went touring full time, and we did that. I did that for a really long time, and I actually joined like other bands eventually. But it led me into like my late 20s where I was like still doing this shit, and I'm like, okay, I need to like make a change here. So,
Man,
you know, the reason I bring it up is because you asked how I got to be in this.
So but you were like, okay, so
Yeah,
like
how do you stop touring and being in a band and be like, I'll be a cop?
but hold on, first off, I want to backtrack a little bit. You didn't mention that you were a kick-ass musician when you were living in the house with the 5 girls. Now I understand why all those guys were like, he's fucking all of them, because he's, you know, because if you're a musician, I mean, come on, you know, let's be honest here. You break out the guitar and bang, bang, bang. Forget about it. Jamie. Am I right?
Oh yeah, more so than a cop. Definitely.
Guitarist, police officer, firefighter.
If you're in a police officer's uniform playing the guitar,
Oh God.
woo, yeah, forget it. Okay, so all right, the back to Justin's question. Yeah, how did you go? So I mean, if also when you're in like your early 20s to late 20s, like pretty good partying time. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're on the road with a kick-ass band and you got what's the band? The groupies, duh, the originals, right? Like, and you got group, you know, you're whatever, you're partying, you're young, you're in music, like you're getting paid to play music at a young age. That's like dream come true. So you're having fun, you're doing this thing, you're traveling, right? Like, that's kind of tough to give up that life. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, it sort of becomes like
it's like your identity also.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's totally what happened to me. But eventually, you know, some people get sucked into that, and it's too late before they realize it's like, okay, this can't last forever. For me, it wasn't that way. Honest to God, like even at the very beginning, like, but when we got signed, I never expected it to go as far as it did, but also I never thought of it as like this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life ever.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Like
so
I'll ride this for as long as I can until I
Yeah.
gotta. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was like getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm getting older now. All my friends from college and high school are like, they've had jobs, they're like getting married, they're
Yeah.
buying homes and stuff, and I'm still like doing this, you know what I mean? So that's what and so my best friend, since I've been like 11, was a New Jersey State Trooper. And so, is a New Jersey State Trooper. So that was it. He was just like, "Yeah, you should do this." And I was like, "All right, I'll try." And that was it. There's no like story. I was never like a person that like, wanted to be a cop my whole life or anything like that.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you too, man. I mean, like, it's one of those, like, I remember being at that age where, like, if things weren't going well, I'd be like, dude, I'll just join the military, right? If I need, like, you have these ideas in the back of your head, like, oh, I'll be a cop or I'll be a fireman or I'll join the military or whatever. Right. Because, like, you're at that age where, like, oh, I could just make a major life change and it doesn't affect anybody because I'm just me. You know what I mean? And, plus, too, like, when you're playing music and people, like, because people will talk about you when you're doing things without you knowing, right? Like, I remember when I was fighting, right? Like, it would be people that I hadn't seen in, like, years, and they'd be like, oh, you're fighting now, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. So it kind of sucked when I stopped doing that, and people would be like, hey, you still fighting and stuff? And I'm like, bro, I'm 30. I'm not doing that shit. You know what I mean? Like, so kind of like, I'm with you where it's like, because it is somewhat your identity after a while, and then you have to change that. Then you have to like say, come up with like why you don't do that anymore. It's kind of like a drag. So you in your mind were like, look, I'm done with this. I got it all out of my system. Now I'm fully going to commit to being a cop. But I
did actually.
Okay.
Like, so I decided that that's what I was going to do, or at least like that was sort of like the avenue I was going to take. But, it's a lengthy process. And back when I was applying or when I was going through all this, it was like not easy at all to like get a job. Like now it seems like, just with the state of the world now, he wants to be a cop, understandably so. And so they really want to hire people now. I feel like it's a lot easier, but back then it was really hard to get a job. So it wasn't like I just like put the guitar down and like jumped, so I actually went back to Monmouth for my master's degree. And so I went back and it was like kind of stupid to do looking back on it now, but I honestly never thought that I was going to be a state trooper. I thought I was going to like join the FBI or something, or like some sort of job like that, and so I went for a master's in Homeland Security and so I did. And then when I finished, I was confronted with like the cold hard truth that it's like not easy to get a job right now. Yeah. So I applied for a bunch of places. New Jersey State Police was one. Pennsylvania State Police was another. Those were the two that like were like the most realistic for me to get at the time. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I wasn't like a young kid, so I needed to like move on with it. So PA ended up called me for the academy first. So that's the one I started, and that's where I ended up.
Nice. So, okay. So you kind of just like, hey, I'm going to put some lines out there, whatever nibbles I get, I'm going to go with that. PA took the biggest bite. I feel like too, like the Pennsylvania State Police is they're pretty big as far as like an organization, right? Like they've been around for a while. Like they have like history and like there's a lot of them. Right, like it's
the longest. I should know this, but I'm pretty sure it's the oldest. The first state, 1904, I think is one.
Oh wow, that's impressive. Well, I mean, dude, I could totally see that. Yeah. Plus, dude, I mean, they're like I have a buddy. I don't know if you know Bob Byer, Robert Byer. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you...
I do, Bob. Work with Bob. Yeah,
dude, tell him you know Matt Lavelle, and he'll lose his mind. Me and him grew up together. He's a 4th Street guy. Love Bob. Oh, he's the best. Bobby Byer, big fan of him.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, he's awesome, man. I love that guy. But either way, but I remember like I remember, God, I think it was like the state police are higher than like a rate like a township police would be, like rank wise, like you have more authority. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you mean by higher. Like, I guess if they police, they would say that, but I mean, we're all just police officers. I mean, we have more authority because we're the Pennsylvania State Police for the state of Pennsylvania rather than just whatever town that particular police officer is in charge of. But it's the same job, you know.
And isn't it the smaller towns that don't have individual police forces like you guys cover those areas?
That's true. Yeah. So a lot of that's a common misconception too, is like a lot of people think of the state police as just like a ticket writing highway.
Yeah. It's not.
And I think in some states, I think that is what it is, but in Pennsylvania, it's not. I mean, that is part of it, obviously, but we're just the by default, any municipality that doesn't have their own police force, we handle their calls.
Damn, that's crazy. Because there's like, I mean, we know, but people that don't live in PA don't know. Like, there's Philly and there's Pittsburgh and everywhere else is Alabama. You know what I mean? Like, there's some backwoods ass, small ass towns in PA where you could be dragged out in the middle of the night from 100 miles away and you're the closest state trooper. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Some of these are miles and miles and miles, you know, from one end of the patrol zone to the other. And like, there could only be like over the midnight shift, there's only 2 cars covering the whole county.
Golly.
So four guys, two-man cars.
Damn, that's tough. That is, I mean, that's a lot of road too, you know, like to cover. Man, that's tough. But okay, I want to talk about your training and everything like that for the state police. But before we get into that, it's time for everybody's new favorite segment. It's JDubs questions, asking some questions. JDubs questions, a new favorite segment. JDubs question segment and Jamie. All right, Chris, Justin here. He's going to ask you some questions and you're going to give him some answers. It's going to be a lot of fun. He is more excited for this than the time that than I've ever seen him. So, all right, Justin, go ahead. Take it away.
I mean, I have a whole page of stupid questions I normally ask all week, but I'm not going to ask any of them.
Get rid of them.
They're out the window.
Window.
The cool entrance thing that the state troopers get to use. What is it? Like a little badge you have and it like opens the gate? How's that work?
Cool entrance to
you know what I'm talking about? You know how there's all those extra secret entrances like down 276 or 476?
Yeah.
And do you like, I don't know where you live. Where do you patrol? Like, are you on the east?
Skip back, Montgomery County.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. I'm there every day. We're going to run into each other. I think I've been to your station. Are you the one on 113?
Yeah. Well, it was on 113. They moved it a block in now. But yeah, we used to be at 113. Maybe like a year ago, they made a new station for us.
Yeah, I haven't been there in 10 years, but I have been there twice. And I've picked up a few friends from there.
Hold on, Jamie, what were you going to say?
Skipback doesn't have a township police department, do they?
They do not.
Yeah, I didn't think
so. Good call, James. So it's exactly what we were just talking about. Wow, excellent throwback. Good job, Justin. Keep going. You're killing it.
This question is for my girlfriend, so I can play this for her. Are you allowed to change lanes through an intersection?
Through an intersection, are you allowed to change lanes?
Like while you're going through the light, can you go from one lane to the other one?
You're saying if it's a 2-lane, if you're on a 2-lane street, right, I guess it would be 4 lanes, technically, 2 on each side, 2 going opposing ways. Are you allowed to switch lanes going through an intersection? Can I weigh in on this? I was under the impression that is illegal.
I would say no. Yeah, I would say no.
Highly illegal. And I have told this woman illegal numerous times, and
women can't drive.
Though. There's no like, and in this intersection, there's no like double yellow line, or there's no dot. I'm sorry, there's no like dotted line, right?
Yeah, like you're going through a traffic light, you know?
Yeah.
Through that intersection, and then changing lanes.
No,
while in the intersection.
Yeah. I live right by the entrance to 476, and this woman is up to all kinds of nonsense every day.
Watch out for her.
I live right around there too. I know what you're talking about.
You live right across from the Plymouth Meeting Mall?
No. To the entrance to 476. I'm at the Lansdale exit. I live in town.
All right. I know where you're at. Yeah. I have a question though. So when you're going on like the turnpike or whatever, you know how like there's the road, you know, it's like whatever, 3 lanes going one way, 3 lanes going the other way, and in the middle is like some woods or grass or whatever, right? Every once in a while there's like a break in the guardrail on the side of the road where like you can dip through and go to the other side that I believe is just for state police, right?
You mean if you're northbound and you want to go southbound?
Yeah.
Or vice versa?
Yeah, there's like the cut in between the woods, right?
Yeah.
I always wanted to do that. My entire life, I've wanted to do that. Have you done that?
Have I done it? Yeah.
God, is it as awesome as it seems?
No. Well, I usually go and park right in there.
Wow.
And I'll wait for, I mean, not on the turnpike. Like I said, I don't work on the turnpike. I work on skipback, but we have similar crews on our highway where I work at.
But do you have access to the cool entrances on 476 and 276? Like those secret gate things that'll just put you right on it?
Yeah, well, I don't because I don't use it. But if I was working out there, then yeah, they give you a card.
Yeah, that's the key. Dude, I see some of them. I'll be driving. I'll be like, if that one is just
when you're in
skip
traffic,
an hour of traffic. If they just let me have 2 days a year, you should be allowed to do the roundabout whenever you want, and you should get open access to the cool gates that like let you right off at Valley Forge.
They should let you do it during traffic too.
What's that?
If they let you do the secret way out during like heavy traffic, forget it. Especially on 76. Fuck, 76.
There's one like by my house, like on a back cut road in Plymouth Meeting, and I look at, I'm just like, I could just make a phone call and be like, what is it going to take? Just let me use that one.
Right.
Right out the back of my development, right on the 276.
Come on, be a guy.
Take employment with the state police, I guess.
Yeah, Justin, be a cop.
I'm thinking, dude, they have the flashing sign up by the Plymouth Meeting Police Department, and they're like hiring now. And I was like,
there you go.
How hard is it? I was gonna say, if you were up to all kinds of nonsense when you were younger, will they hire you?
Well, we're gonna get into that, Chris. They do ask you some questions, Justin, and I know for a fact that you would fail.
Pass. All right.
Yeah.
What is there any use in dropping your name when I get pulled over next time?
Do not drop his name.
Will it help?
No.
Or what you're being pulled over for.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna blow a stop. The next time I get pulled over is like blowing a stop sign.
Something like that.
Or blowing a guy.
That four-way intersectional Wenchurch Road that they put in with 4 stop signs in the middle of that. I roll through that every day, and I'm not going to stop doing it.
Everyone does. Yeah.
No one respects those 4 stop signs.
Is that what you're talking about? Where they had those like dog kennels on Wenchurch Road?
Yeah. They just added those stop signs like 2 years ago. It's a 4-way stop now, and I'm like, no, I've been driving on this road for 20 years. I'm not stopping here. I mean, I'll slow down slightly, but I'm not stopping.
Sure. That's right. Remind me, Justin, you drive for a living, correct? And you're not in NASCAR. Got it.
I've never been pulled over in my work vehicle.
Really?
Wow. Be a good driver.
Because I'm getting paid to drive. Like why would you speed if you're getting paid to drive?
True.
I don't get paid more if I get there sooner.
True that.
Yeah. I usually just sit in the right lane and just do.
Do you eat a lot of food in your car, Chris?
I wouldn't. No, hardly. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say a lot. No.
All right. Sorry. Continue, Justin.
Can't have sticky fingers, you know? He's got a laptop right there. It'd be a mess.
Oh, yeah. Also, he doesn't eat like the shitty chips. So, like, what are you going to eat in your car?
Yeah. Have you ever been shot at?
I have not.
Have you ever pit? Yeah, thank God, obviously. Have you ever pit maneuvered anybody?
Yes.
I want to pit so bad. Tell me about your pits.
What is a pit? What is
you don't know what the pit maneuver is?
No.
You're not on the highway either. Where are you pit maneuvering people?
This was on Skipback Pike.
Hell yeah.
And then I almost did the other day in the Wawa. I decided against it, but I was in the Wawa parking lot on like what is that? Rich Pike and Township Line Road.
Okay.
Near the gas station part of it.
The Whitehall one?
What's that?
The Whitehall Wawa?
No. This is in like Royersford or something.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I decided against it because I was like afraid if I did it, what happens if the car goes and hits into someone else or something while they're pumping gas? So I didn't do it. But luckily the guy just he stopped the car and jumped out and ran, so I didn't have to pit him. I just jumped out.
Whoa. Let's back it up. What is the pit?
I forget what it stands for. Precision something. It's basically like you drive alongside the suspect car, like the rear quarter panel. Okay. And like you sort of like you match its speed, and you basically just do a maneuver where you just steer into the rear quarter panel with your front quarter panel, and it'll spin the car out.
Dude, Robin is racing. Robin is racing right here.
Ain't rubbing,
that's what we're doing.
Racing.
You ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. And that's what you're doing.
You line your tires up, and then you just turn into them.
Wow. God.
I want to do it so bad, yeah.
you don't drive. I mean, obviously, yeah, your car is contacting the other car, but it's not like it's not like a ram, like where you're just it's more of a finesse type thing.
Yeah, if you give them a good tap, because they'll spin right in front of you.
Yep.
And then they'll be facing the opposite way. You slam on the brakes, and you'll be right next to each other, facing opposite directions. If you do it right, like if you nail it,
yeah.
Because especially on 73, that's only a 2-lane road. Like if you pit somebody and do it right, you'll be in both lanes, almost looking at each other.
Is that what you did, Chris?
Yeah.
You're like, get out of the car, stupid.
Okay, so hold on. Whoa. So are you allowed to talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened? You're driving down the road and you thought, hey, today's a good day to be a badass. So what happened?
No, like some guy was just driving all over the road. He was just high on meth or something, or he was on heroin actually. Oof. And he so people were calling in saying like, this dude's like he's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
So gave a description of the car, and then I saw him coming through the skipback village. I tried to stop him. He wouldn't stop. He was going like really slow and then fast, and then so I like pull in front of him and try to just like stop him from driving around, and he like looked at me and gave me the middle finger and then drove around. And so that's when I was like, okay, well then I'll just pit him. And so that's what
He's like, no, thank you. I'd rather not.
I was like, hey, what's this jerk doing? Why did he fucking pull out in front of me? What a jerk.
Yeah.
Hey, bub. Yeah. He didn't even notice. God damn. People doing heroin and skip back. What's the world coming to?
What's the like most drugs you found like not hidden in a car? Like, have you found like a dumb amount of drugs just like sitting out in the open? You're like, what are you doing?
Like weed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was a kid I pulled over one time was like eating it as I like he didn't want to pot with it. It was all over the floor, all over the back. He was like, it was like in his mouth. He was like looking at like trying to eat it while I was coming up.
And you're like, buddy, there's 6 pounds of this, pal.
I can give you 25 minutes. You're not going to get that down.
Yeah. We could wait here all night. You're still not going to get that down. Man. Oh, that's a bummer. I mean, what? Hey, dude, you break the law.
It's fun. Yeah, I know my one buddy. I know a kid who when I was younger, got pulled over with a trash bag full of weed. And like the cop was literally like, what? Like, wasn't he? It was just in his back seat. It was like 7 pounds of just shitty weed from the city. And he's just like, what are you doing?
Why not put it in your trunk?
Yeah, it's like, you're not even trying, guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weed's pretty easy to sniff out, obviously, especially for something like that, you know.
Yeah, the whole car reeks.
Other drugs and stuff, it's a bit harder, and usually they don't have it sitting out, you know. Like, in my experience, like you're not going to see a large amount just sitting out. You will see like users, like addicts, will have it sitting out because they're like using like while they're driving or what. But like anybody with their shit together, they're going to have it hidden. They're not just going to have it like
not just sitting out like dopey.
We're like a large amount, you know, where like usually someone that's moving like a large amount like is not going to just have it sitting out, you know.
Yeah. Usually they're pros with it. You're right. All right, Justin, keep going.
What's the fastest you've hit in the cop car?
As fast as it goes, I think probably like not like that fast. I don't think like probably 130, 140, somewhere around there.
Nice.
Those are supercharged. You got the supercharged Taurus, right?
We do. I mean, we used to have those Crown Vics where those were like more like
those are V8.
It's like a boat.
Yeah, but it feels like you're gonna go like I remember doing maybe like 120 in one of those, and it just felt like I was gonna like go back,
shake apart.
Yeah, like I was in the Back to the Future car or something.
Nice. All right, good. All right, Justin, one more.
All right, only one more.
All right, how many more do you have?
I don't know, like 12.
All right.
Can you choose your sidearm? Can you like pick whatever sidearm you want?
No, it's department issued. Everybody has to.
Okay. Have you ever pulled someone over while they were listening to Tokyo Rose?
No.
What if
no matter how fucked up they are, do they like get to go home?
Yeah. What if you do pull over someone and they're like, "Holy shit, Tokyo Rose, bro!" Like, and just start like, or listen to it or go into it. Like, would you be like, "All right, buddy"?
I think the likelihood of that is like slim to none.
Now it's definitely gonna happen now.
I'll put a Tokyo Rose CD
but Chris, hypothetically,
depends what I pull him over for.
If speeding, you're like, all right, buddy.
Speeding, you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, this album's so good. I was just going so fast. Like, I
No,
love it.
dude. Now everyone's gonna look like all the cops. Like, all right, any cops in
They're
any
just-
bands around here? Let's go. You know.
Well,
What was
people
that,
just
Chris?
get a playlist just in case they get pulled over by
Yeah.
you. That's
Just Tokyo Rose on like 4 because you got to keep the volume down, hands on the steering wheel, have all your stuff, until he walks
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good.
No.
I have very good police manners. My uncle taught me very well when I was young.
Dude, never. Oh, I will never. I mean, I've been
I've been pulled over.
Yeah.
I've been pulled over in the car with kids with terrible police manners, and I was like, I don't know what you think you're doing here, but we're going to jail.
This doesn't
You
happen.
can't be
Yeah.
mean to them.
No. Yeah. You're stupid if you're rude to a cop when they're pulling you over. Absolutely stupid. Doesn't ever go well.
My real name is Justin Richardson. And if I'm in Skip Back a lot, so if ever I'm at one, I don't even know what the new station is. The card things? Do they work? You know how they give you like the family and friends card?
Yeah.
Do those work?
I mean, they work with me.
Ooh, I have a couple from my uncle still from.
Someone hands it to me. I always, again, like if it's for speeding or something like that. Yeah, they work.
Yeah, if you just murdered somebody, the family card's not gonna work.
All right.
Nice.
All
All right, Justin. One
Do you
more.
have any? Do you have any questions for me?
Say no, Chris.
Do you have any active wants and warrants right now?
I might, yo.
Because he said he's been in the state police station a bunch of times. So
Only
No.
because what happens if you don't pay the Easy Pass tolls?
I don't know. That's a turnpike thing.
Your
Yeah, I don't-
registration gets suspended.
Yeah, but I don't think they put a warrant out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have a car registered in PA anyway, so it doesn't matter.
All right,
Nice.
you're good.
Yeah.
All right, good for you. Very nice. James, what do you got for a question?
All right. So when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Ooh.
I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't really have a realistic, career path or whatever, even throughout high school or whatever. But if you're just like shooting for the stars, then I was like, I wanted to play basketball.
Hey.
But that
Do you
was
play basketball now?
no.
I legit played basketball today at LA Fitness this morning. Legit.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah, played 1-on-1 with this kid named Sam. Nice kid.
Come see me, Matt.
I mean, yeah, if you want to go, hey, 5 a.m. we were there, Justin. So,
I'll be there.
all right, please. It was the one in Valley Forge. So,
It's even closer to my house.
very nice. All right, good. Sorry I interrupted. Jamie, please continue.
That's okay. What is your favorite part of your career? Did I
Ooh.
ask that one last week?
I mean,
I wrote them
I
all
don't know.
down on one page. I should probably not.
No,
do
that's a great question. A lot better than Justin's. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of bad things about my job, but there are good things too. I mean, I do like the fact that we have the flexibility to kind of do, especially where I work in the county, where you kind of have the freedom and flexibility to do whatever kind of work you feel like doing that day. Now, obviously, if you're getting a high call volume and you're getting sent to calls and stuff like that, then it's a different story that day. But it's not always like that. So there's some days where you want to catch up on in like criminal investigations that you're doing. Sometimes you want to go out on the highway and just pull cars over. Sometimes you don't want to do any of that. Whatever. It's pretty flexible in that regard. So the thing that I like about my career is that, while the schedule sucks and stuff like that, you do have some flexibility there.
Nice.
Yeah, and you're always kind of like switching it up, not doing the same
Yeah.
thing every day.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also, I mean, let's be honest. Number one thing is you get to carry a gun. Like, let's go. You know what I mean?
No, the number one thing is the hat.
Oh God, yeah.
He
Forgot.
loves.
It's badass. Yeah, you get the mounty hat with the chin strap.
Mountain.
I don't wear the hat.
You don't wear it at all.
Trouble for that.
Ah,
Yeah,
dude,
way too
I'd be
cool.
steady with. You got to go
You're
full
supposed to wear-
stash.
Your traffic stops, but cars whiz by you and they almost like blow it off your head all the time. So
Like I'd have your chin strap on, and you got to
yeah, it's like this. You're like, it's just human nature. If something blows off your head, you try and catch it, or
Yeah.
you want to pick it up, whatever the case may be. So it's like not really, in my opinion, like that's safe because you're
What?
not
Yeah.
like reacting, like try and catch it.
Yeah, true. You don't want your hat to be blown into traffic, but like, oh wait,
Yeah.
there's a bus. Meow. Yeah. No one
Yeah.
wants that. What's the deal with your uniforms? How many of them do you get? Like one?
I mean, I've been working there for going on 11 years. I've never gotten a new set of uniforms. So the ones that I had when I was in the academy are the ones that I wear now.
Wait, what? I mean, how many do they give you?
Well, they have like, I think they give you like a 5 and 5, like summer uniform and winter.
Oh,
Like summer's a short sleeve shirt, winter is a long sleeve, and then the summer pants are like a lighter material.
damn. Do they give you jackets and stuff too?
Yeah. They like it's changed since I graduated the academy, but they gave like a sweater, they gave you a jacket, and then they also issue like a dress uniform, like for ceremonial type stuff or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Green. It's like a green jacket.
You never wear that. Yeah. You never wear that unless you're at a funeral or something like that.
Yeah. Those are like the class A's.
Do they
Yeah.
have shorts?
No.
Like they got them brown UPS shorts with the yellow lines on the side.
No.
Does everybody have to like? Do you guys all go to the same dry cleaner, or how does that work?
No.
You just use whatever dry cleaner you want,
Just use whatever you want. Yeah.
but you have to have it dry cleaned. Like, is that part of the thing?
I don't think it's a requirement.
But it's like you should, because you got to look sharp, right? You have to be crisp.
Yeah, but not everyone does.
Oh wow.
I don't think there's any sort of like, they don't enforce that.
It's not like a mandate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like different when you're in the academy. You definitely do.
Yeah.
But when you get out on the road and stuff, I don't think anybody's really like looking where you're if you're going for dry cleaning. I feel like if you end up looking like a mess or something, probably say something
You
to
have
you.
Chick-fil-A sauce on your on your Mountie hat.
Yeah.
Someone will say something, but I mean it's never happened to me. I don't know if that's ever happened to anyone. I'm sure it has.
All right. Jane, what else you got? If you don't have any, that's fine.
No, I do. I feel like this one is a kind of obvious question. I did not know I was interviewing a cop today. So is there a misunderstanding or stereotype of someone in your career?
Oh, great question. Wow.
I think it's an obvious answer, but
What? There is. The cops are misunderstood. Get out of here.
I mean, I think there is. I remember the disclaimer that I had to sign that you sent that says you will not get political on this show. And so I do not intend to do that. But I do think that our job and the issues concerning my profession are very politicized. So without really going into that too much, I would say, yes, it is misunderstood. And,
hey, Chris, if you're not comfortable, man, we can just move on.
that was a bad question.
I started working in a hospital randomly one day, and like I had this expectation of like what a hospital is. You're like, this is a place of learned people who take care of people. And then you walk into that establishment and you realize you're like, oh, these are all doctors, nurses, everyone included are just regular people. And some of them suck and some of them are incredible people. And so, like any workplace, you have
your Justins, and then you have everybody else.
I've met doctors that I was like, I wouldn't let you work on my dog. You have no. I've had doctors ask me what settings for machines should be, and I'd be like, what? I don't even work here. Versus like I've had amazing nurses who are underpaid and understaffed who like know everything, and you're like, hey, what's this thing on my neck?
Yeah.
So, like, and the same thing with cops. Like I've been arrested numerous times, and I've had cool police officers who were like, hey, like, what are you doing, dummy? And I've had other police officers who are just, they just are giving you a ticket and they don't give a fuck what you say. So like every interaction is different with everyone, but you can't judge one person off of every reaction. Agreed. And for the most part, like I know the whole cop thing, but like I have an uncle who's a cop in Philly, and like, say whatever you will about him, but like it's still my uncle. I still love him.
It's like typically at my job, you're meeting someone like in their worst situation, like their worst day. So we don't go to places if everything's completely fine, like pretty much always their worst day or their worst situation. Yeah. And when you go and you're in that situation, people always expect you to have this sort of like, listen, I go to domestic calls, like, sometimes 3 or 4 per shift, you know what I mean? So each of those couples, that they're going through a really hard day or time or whatever. But for me, it's just another one. I can assess within a few minutes whether this is like serious, like the police need to be here, or this is just people that have a train wreck of a relationship and don't know how to handle it. So everybody treats it like, oh, the police have to be here. I'm calling the police. And it's like, no crime has been committed. You guys are in a mess of a relationship. That's on you to figure it out. That's not my place to nor do I want to try to fix
I'm not a relationship therapist.
Fix it. You've been in it for so long. It's just going to either continue or you're going to leave. And that's it. And so that's just one example where you're like dealing with people on their worst day. So as police officers, you kind of have to remember that. And sort of be empathetic and understanding. But on the same side, it's like you have people that will try and take advantage. Well, they just automatically assume like you're going to give them a hard time because you're a stupid cop that, wanted to be a tough guy or something. I don't know, whatever they
common misconception. No, I agree. So let's keep it moving then. So those are some great questions. Very good. Let's keep moving though. So before we got into JDubs questions, we were getting into the State Trooper Academy. So I think we talked about this, Chris, and I forget who else I talked to about this, but the State Trooper Academy, it's in Central PA. Is it Hershey, right?
Yeah.
And they're famous. They have this hill that it's on, and it's a mother, right?
Yeah.
Like this hill is a bastard. And I think you said this, Chris, where it's like they had the opportunity to move the academy and didn't do it because of this famous hill that everyone has to run up and train on, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So like you said before, you put your lines out there to get a nibble. PA nibbled. So you're like, all right, I'm following up with them. So did they have to do did they piss test you and psychological test or anything before you got into the academy?
Oh yeah. Like from the time that you apply to the time you get in the academy, it's probably a year. I mean, you're doing tests and stuff. First you do like a written test. And then they do an oral board interview where you're like in the front of a panel of 3 people and they ask you questions like why do you want to be a state trooper? But then they ask you some like hypothetical things, would you do this or that when you're on the job? And then if you pass through that, you go for the physical test, which is like running, push-ups, sit-ups, whatever. And then after that, they do your background check where they call like every job, school, ex-girlfriend, friend, whatever, neighbor. And they check all that stuff out, and that takes a really long time. And then after that, they do a hearing and vision test and a psychological exam, and that's just asking you questions like, do you get mad in traffic? Do you get mad in this? I mean, I don't know what the point of it is, but and they also do a lie detector test. So they did that. That's after the background. So you have to fill out this packet that's like 100 pages long of everything: your schools, work, past residences, girlfriends, friends, neighbors, arrests, if you've been arrested, even like as much as like your tickets that you've gotten in your life. And they ask you questions like crazy shit, like where you're like, who answered yes to this? But someone does, I guess, or else it wouldn't be on there. But like shit, like I don't know, like shit, like have you ever fucked an animal or something like that? Or just like like that.
That's the one I was saying before that Justin would definitely.
I could pass that one. I'm not gonna fuck an animal. But like, what if you have done drugs in the past? Can you not be a state trooper?
That is on there for sure.
And if you fail that question, you can't be a state trooper.
I don't remember. I don't really do drugs at all, even before, but I remember that's not to say that you can't be a state trooper. I don't remember the exact
help, obviously.
Yeah,
it's like you can't have done. I think obviously if you do like certain drugs, you can't be a state trooper pretty much. But talking about like weed, most people have smoked weed or whatever. I think like you can't be a state trooper if you've smoked within whatever 10 years or X amount of time that you're applying or something like that. I forget what it was exactly, but it was something like a time limit or something like that.
Does that apply still that weed is legal?
That's a good question. I was actually just thinking that as I came out of my mouth. I don't know. I would assume not, but
well, again, it's still partially legal for like you can get driving under the influence if you're too high, right?
Yeah, no, you totally can.
They probably ask you in that aspect, right?
They probably do. They probably did ask you if you ever gotten a DUI or something like that, or how many times have you driven and not gotten caught, on DUI stuff. Again,
Yeah.
I never really, my honest answer to that would be 0, because I don't really ever do that. So
No, when you're in an emo band, your drug is being mad at your parents,
that's right.
obviously.
Yeah, well, it's funny when you're saying like all the partying and everything else like that, and that wasn't my life when I was doing that either. So
Nice. So you're at the academy, right? Like what kind of like what was it like? Like what kind of physical things did you have to go through?
it's the worst.
Yeah.
7 months long.
Oh.
You live there. We went out. My class went in the night of the Super Bowl. That it was the Ravens and the 49ers.
Oh, the one with the blackout. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. That's 12, 13, like the 12
February
season.
2nd, 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So that was our night to go into the academy, and they're all it was snowing, it was dark, it was freezing. You drive up to the parking lot, you get out, you have all your bags, you're in a suit and tie, and they drop you in the they're screaming in your face, making you do push-ups and stuff in the parking lot. Your head's spinning or whatever. But eventually, when all that stuff, you get past all that, you get into the real academy, which is like 6 a.m. to probably 5 p.m. every day. So 6 a.m. you have to be out even before 6, actually, because you do the morning run from 6 to 7. 7 to 7:30 is breakfast. 7:30 to 8, I think, is like morning duty. So they'd give you a bunch of jobs. Either like at the state police, they have like the horse stables, so you have to like clean up after the horses, or you have to clean the academy, or you have to help in the kitchen, or you have to like do the lawn mowing and stuff, or like the shooting range. You have to pick up all the rubber and all the stuff behind the range and shit like that. So there's all different kinds of like jobs and shit you have to do. And then after you're done with that, then you start class, and you do that from 8 till 12. You have an hour for lunch and whatever else, and then from 1 to 5 is your more class. And then you're done, and then you go to dinner, and then you go back to your room and you study for your tests, or you have to shine your belt and your whatever, clean your room, do whatever, stuff like that. And that's for 7 months.
And that's every day for 7 months. Well, and it's weekends too, right? Like there's no like
some weekends you get off.
Okay.
Some weekends you get off. So when I went, there were 2 platoons. So when one platoon went home, the other one was there. It's basically like state's way of getting like free labor.
Yeah, how about it?
So like on the weekends, you really like are cleaning and mowing the grass, weed whacking, doing everything like at the academy and stuff like that. And if you like fail a test, or you fail a run, or you fail room inspection, which I did, if you do that enough, then you have to stay on your week. Like, so the weekends that your group is going home, you are stuck there.
Oh, so they like revoke your leave or whatever.
Right. That's a mind fuck when that happens.
Oh,
yeah.
And what, they did that because your room was messed up?
Yeah. It wasn't messed up. It's just some instructor that had it out for me, I guess.
Oh,
but
I see.
Your bed wasn't made tight enough.
Yeah. So okay, so they really did. So they really do treat it like a boot camp, then, like a military boot camp.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah.
So okay, so we are coming towards the top of time, but before we get out of here, though, I do want to talk about Henzo Gracie PA Academy and the gym, because this is one thing. And say what I know we talked about the police and all these things. But I'll tell you, the one thing that I kind of agree on, and I love that at the gym, there are so many members of law enforcement there, right? Wouldn't you agree, Chris? Like, there's a ton of law enforcement guys that come to the gym, and I just think that it's so good and so healthy mentally and physically for the members of law enforcement. But for you specifically, what type of benefits have you seen training at, training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and boxing and kickboxing at the gym? How's that translated into, the law enforcement?
Well, one, I'll agree with you. There are a bunch of guys that are coming to the gym now that are cops and stuff, which is really good to see. Mm-hmm. I will say that, like, I've always thought that they should do that. Mm-hmm. And, it's kind of like a recent thing, honestly. Like, always like that, like I said, we've been there for 10 plus years. Like, early on, it wasn't so many guys, and I really figure out why. But now it seems like there's more and more, which is really good. As far as what I get out of it, one is confidence. I mean, I train with guys all the time that are bigger, stronger than me. I hold my own. So
you do more than hold your own, brother. You rip people to. I've seen, dude. I've been a victim of it. You've ripped me to shreds a million times. Kidding me? Dude, this guy, Chris is an absolute, he looks like a nice, mild-mannered guy. Bro, he is a killer. Seen it and felt it firsthand.
And that confidence, because you have no idea who you're pulling over. It could be a 5'1" woman. It could be a 6'7" man.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
At night, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, you see a lot of police that you see. I mean, I know we don't have a lot of time, so I won't get too far into it, but you see a couple of years ago, you just saw a lot of these police shootings and stuff like that.
Yeah. Brutality
and they're saying a lot of them were racist or whatever the case may be. And that might be the case. I don't really think. I think it was more that the inexperience and the scare, they're scared. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle themselves, and they just resort to pulling out their gun, where it's sometimes it's justified for sure. Don't get me wrong. Most of them are, but there have been videos that I've seen where it's just it's cringeworthy. Everybody's seen those videos on YouTube where there's 2 or 3 cops that can't even get one guy under control, and it's just I mean, we're not there, so I don't want to judge. Who knows, the guys on PCP or whatever the case may be. But it's I do feel at a certain point, you should be able to restrain this person. You know what I mean? And just watching them, it looks like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off running around. They have no clue what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, I think the training really would help. I think a lot. It's not, they don't do it enough. It is nice to see a bunch of guys in the gym now, but I think there's a lot more that should come. I've always tried to get people to come, and sometimes I do, but most of them have, reasons they can't. And that's not, but for me personally, it's confidence. And with that confidence comes a calmness, it's I don't escalate things right off the bat. You know what I mean? It's I've definitely had physical, altercation at work, where I'm restraining people and stuff, and had to use what I've learned at the gym or whatever. And it's worked, at a very, that's the other thing that's really frustrating, where I feel even at a very relatively low, a blue belt level is enough. If you train to a blue belt level, a proficient blue belt level, that will be, pretty adequate, for most situations. You know what I mean? But
if you can do Americana or something, you know what I mean? But I think
really not even the submissions. I'm just talking about weight distribution and knowing how to control people, because that's really what we're supposed to do. We're not trying to break anyone's arm or choke anyone out. You're not supposed to do that, but you do have to gain compliance and control over somebody. And you have to understand that these people, someone always says they want to get away way more than we want to apprehend them, because they're looking at 15 years or whatever, you know what I mean? But for us, it's just a job. So they're going to fight, they're going to fight, and they're going to try anything to get away. And they're try and punk you whenever they can. So it's you have to be able to restrain somebody. And jiu-jitsu teaches you, when you become proficient, really all you need to know is, if you were that guy that's trying to get away, what does that guy need to do to get up, to stand up and get away? And once you understand that, then you take those elements away. If he needs to post on his arm to push himself up or get to his feet, well, then take that arm away. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. So, and then also you see these cops that just can't keep anyone on the ground, which is really the worst part that I watch. It's if you get someone on the ground, you should be able to hold them there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed.
So that's my 2 cents about it. I don't think by me saying that it's a condemnation of cops or anything,
true,
because
I agree.
But I just feel and I don't think I'm something special or anything. It's just,
no, but especially too, when you see a police officer who's in shape, I think people take them a little more seriously than sometimes you see some heavier set officers and people are you ain't catching me.
Yeah. No, totally. It's definitely a deterrent if you have a good command presence about you, and the people are probably going to think twice about acting up. For me, I haven't had too many problems, but I mean, actually, Matt, like, it was funny. Like, here's an example of how jujitsu, actually works.
Yeah.
I went to like a domestic call, and the dude, it's like in a townhouse, and the dude like beat up his girlfriend, and he runs. It's like a 2-story townhouse. You know how they have like the decks upstairs, like
Yeah.
a little. So he runs up the stairs and runs out to the deck. I don't know where he thought he was going. So I ran and chased him after that, and then he wouldn't like come with me, so I had to cuff him. So luckily a friend was with me, because I tried to get him on the ground, but it was hard because like the railing, like I would grab his leg, and normally you'd be able to take him out, but he'd like
He
grab
could hold on the railing.
right. So I'd like grab his arm to my friend. So I grabbed his arm, and then I got him down, and it was fine from there. Just a basic side control, crossface far side underhook.
Nice.
Job. And later, after I found out, like when we were looking at his his stats or whatever, like his criminal record, it shows he was like 6'8", 240 pounds. So I was like, damn, that's a big fucking dude, like realized at the time, but he was really big, and so just simple jujitsu helped me, get him down and keep him down until I could get him caught.
Because what are you, Chris? 6'1", right?
6 feet, 170.
Yeah. So,
But
but
anyway,
like think about that. Like, yeah, like look at the size difference that you were able to overcome with, like, just like you're saying, with simple jujitsu. Like you took him down, you got inside control, and you took, incredible. You're 100% right. And like, exactly what you're saying, where you're able to subdue a situation without having to resort to your sidearm. Right. Like,
that's a good point. Like, again, I'm not saying like, look at me, how great I am. I'm just saying, like, in that same exact situation, if there was another cop, like there was no gun, the guy didn't flash a gun or anything like that. But I will say, like, I bet you like a lot of guys would probably have tased that guy. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not even a thought in my head. It's just like, nah, we'll just handle this,
Yeah.
So it's not to say that there isn't a place for that. It's definitely a good tool for situations that's warranted. But to me, that wasn't one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, dude. No, and but I mean, yeah, there. If you can. Obviously, you want to handle it if you could handle it non-violently, that's always the first move that you want to do. Everything is non-violent, but if you're able to handle yourself without having to use a weapon, I mean, that just I'll tell you, when I was bouncing, they always loved having like former wrestlers be bouncers, because like even though like I could throw hands, they were like, they'd rather not have you throw hands, because that's when you could really hurt someone. Whereas like if you could grapple them and subdue them and then get them out, that's the way to go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Perfect. So no, I'm with you, man. No. And like we said before on the show, we support the police 1,000,000%. You guys are doing great work out there. I'll tell you, people say whatever shit you want about the police until you need them, and then you're their best friend. So I don't want to hear it. So nice, but let's keep it moving. We are coming towards the top of time, man. Chris, I'll tell you, brother, I was really looking forward to this. Me, Justin, and Jamie are usually on the same page with this, but we would love to have you back on the show if you'd be willing to come back on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was awesome. Really fun.
This is fun, right? It's just a good chat. Everyone's talking. I can't wait to tell everybody at the gym that you were in an emo band.
Well, some of them know. Some of them know.
A couple Tokyo Rose fans at the gym. All right.
Well, I'm like going through like a midlife crisis right now. So I actually started playing again with like friends. So Jeremy Ortiz and all of them like make fun of me all the time.
Oh, nice,
so they're
dude.
aware. They're aware.
Nice. All right. Well, before we get out of here though, Chris, is there anything you want to say to, the Chris Poulsen faithful before we take off?
No, I think one thing I would say is just like reiterate the point we just made. If you're like in law enforcement or a kind of job like that, I think it'd be cool to at least look into trying out a jiu-jitsu class or talking to somebody that trains some sort of martial arts. It's good for physical fitness. It's good for your mind and spirit. And it's good, I think, especially in my line of work, like to have that. Don't get me wrong. Like I get scared plenty and, I could do all this, I've been training for 10 years and I'm a brown belt or whatever, but for all I know, one time some guy could beat my ass. I don't know, but
I mean, you could go to a domestic dispute at Hoist Gracie's house.
Yeah. It could totally happen. could totally happen, but I do know that I do everything I can within my power, within reason, to train and be prepared for those situations. And because, Matt, like you said, like I've been going there for a while and I've been training a good bit. And I just feel like, confident when I go into a situation that I don't need to escalate it. I don't need to go tit for tat with somebody because I know that if it comes to it, or at least in my mind, I'll be able to handle myself, And so I think with that, comes a calmness. And I think it's important to try and attain that if you're in my line of work, because you're dealing with just volatile situations and volatile people a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, man. Could not agree more. Nice. So very good. Well, thank you for that, Chris. And that's a great message that you're putting out there also. And I fully support you. So let's keep it going. James, anything you want to say to the Jamie Iglesias and Iglesias before we get out of here?
I'm gonna be on the news next week.
Whoa.
ABC.
What'd you do?
They're filming me they're filming all of us at work. I don't know when it's gonna air though. I don't know if it's gonna be live or they're just filming it.
Are we allowed to say the name of your work?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, Fabuflorist. They're coming to Fabuflorist.
Fabuflorist?
Fabufloras.
Oh, Fabufloras.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
It's a hard one. No one gets it right.
We'll have a link in the description of this episode for Fabufloras. I suggest everyone checks it out, especially if you got a lady you want to impress, if you know what I mean. So
we do events.
Yep, you do
weddings.
Events. Not for the small time little jabrones. It's for
we don't do retail. You can't come in and buy your girlfriend flowers. But I'll give you some if you want.
No. Get married, then you can give her all the flowers you want. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Justin.
What? I get flowers.
Yeah, Justin, you need a florist for your wedding.
I will.
Right here.
There you go, Justin. When are you getting married, Justin?
I don't know, but if I need security, I hope Chris.
We did.
I've never had my father and mother in the same room since the court hearing when I was a child. So I don't know how that's going to go down.
I'll tell you, Justin, if you're looking for a ring, I got the best hookup that you'll ever get. Oh, I got the best hookup.
I need to get
everyone's gone there and they've all been hooked up with your boy, old Uncle Matty. Dude, I've taken probably 6 people there and probably saved close to probably $50,000, total with all the guys. So I'm your guy. You talk to old Uncle Matty and we'll talk to Miss Williams. So, excellent. All right. Yep. Let me know and I'll take you there. But all right. Nice. But speaking of, Justin, anything you want to say to, the woman that you should marry because you'll never do better, aka Veronica?
Yeah. Stop changing lanes through intersections because it's not legal.
It's not.
Does Skipback have horses? Do you have horses?
No.
I have so many more cop questions.
Horses they come from Harrisburg.
Oh.
Just all right.
Hershey. I'm sorry, Hershey. Hershey. They're kept at the State Police Academy grounds, and there's a special unit that they will, mobilize if they decide they need horses or something, and they'll send them from Hershey.
Okay. Yeah, it's serious when the horse is rolling the town.
Yeah, you don't be messing with the horses.
You have to come back. I have so many more police officer questions.
Nice.
I will.
Nice. Awesome. All right, good. Well, speaking of having police officer questions, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by JDubs, Justin Richardson, the amazing Jamie Iglesias, and our guest today is the man, the myth, the state trooper himself, Chris Poulsen. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You know, it's on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok. The Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspective@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe so we keep bringing you this sweet, sweet content. Thanks for listening. Stick around for the ad read. Thanks. See ya.